Once upon a time, in a country somewhere, lived an ever so beautiful, ever so hard-working young girl. The girl's most prized possession was a tattered old storybook. She always kept the storybook under her pillow and read one story every day. The girl had a special reason for loving her book so much. It was dear to her because it was all she had left of her mother. Perhaps that is why when the young girl read the stories to herself, it was almost as if she could hear her mother's voice. One night, the young girl was reading herself a bedtime story as usual. The story was about a young girl who lost her shadow and two siblings who came to help her get it back. The young girl sighed and thought to herself, "I wish I too had friends who would help me no matter what." You may ask, why does a young girl need help? Well, this young girl didn't have much money. She made clothes on her little sewing machine and later sold the dresses and skirts she made at the bazaar. Oh, but it was hard work, sitting in the candlelight, sewing huddled in her chair. Though she wanted to sew a lot of clothes and make a lot of money, there was only so much sewing she could do in a week. What few garments she made, she went to the bazaar and sold the next morning, using her earnings to buy some candles, cloth, and thread. While the young girl thought about all this, she heard a faint rustling sound. At first, she could not tell where the noise was coming from. Then she realized that the source of the sound was one she would least expect. The noise was coming from inside her storybook. The young girl opened the book and looked inside. In between the pages was some kind of dry leaf, one she had never seen before. She thought, "How is it that I never saw this leaf resting between the pages of my book?" Little did she know that there was one more surprise in store for her. Suddenly, the leaf started talking. "Well, finally," said the leaf. "For a moment I thought you would never hear me. Where on earth did you come from?" asked the girl. "The children from the story you just read sent me. You read our story so many times. You loved it so much that we didn't want to leave you all alone." The young girl looked the dry leaf up and down. "Okay, but you're just a dry leaf. How can you possibly help me?" The leaf wasn't offended by this and said, "Don't you worry about that. Let's start with this cloth here." No sooner had the leaf said that when the poor girl's cloth transformed into multicolored dresses, each more beautiful than the other. "I will teach you how to sew very beautiful dresses so you can sell more of them," said the dry leaf. The next day, the young girl went merrily to the bazaar. All her dresses sold almost immediately. From then on, every night, the young girl and the dry leaf would sew all sorts of dresses from the cloth she bought, and the young girl would sell them at the bazaar the next day. What's more, the young girl learned how to sew different dresses from the dry leaf, and she now knew how to make more beautiful dresses than ever before. The young girl had a jealous neighbor. This neighbor saw that the girl was selling more dresses and buying more candles than before, making her green with envy. The neighbor thought to herself, "I must find a way to stop this." And find a way she did. The next morning, the young girl packed up her dresses and went to the bazaar once more. But unlike the other days, she could not sell any. Everyone who came by her stall took a look at her dresses and put them back down. The poor girl returned home heartbroken. The girl and the dry leaf looked at the dresses, and what should they see? All the dresses were ripped or stained. The dry leaf had an idea. "Put me on that dress so I can make them speak." The young girl did as she was asked. Then the dresses really did start speaking. The sea green puff-sleeved dress began to talk, as it was the longest dress with the most fabric, so thought itself the oldest. "After you made us and went to sleep, that neighbor woman came to the house with a pair of scissors." Then, the dress with little daisies on it interrupted. "She ripped us and cut us all over. Just look at me. My daisies don't even have leaves." The ruffled baby hat also spoke up. "She ripped off my elastic too," it said. The young girl was very upset, both at what her neighbor had done and that all her hard work had gone to waste. But the leaf had an idea. "Don't you worry, I'll deal with this. If we never see each other again, remember me," it said, and floated out the window. The young girl wondered how the leaf would solve their problems. She also had a feeling she would never see the leaf again, and this saddened her. She now knew how to make beautiful dresses all by herself, but the friendship of a leaf was always appreciated. Meanwhile, the dry leaf floated in through the evil neighbor's window. The neighbor was asleep. The leaf crept up to her ear and whispered, "You did a very bad thing. Now you will go and fix what you did before the young girl wakes up." As if she had been waiting to hear those words, the woman got up from her bed, snuck into the young girl's house, and hemmed what she had ripped, fixed what she had cut. Then she went back to her own house and went to bed, as if nothing had happened. When she woke the next day, she was sore all over, but did not know why. When the young girl woke up, she saw that all her dresses were as good as new. This parting gift from the dry leaf made her smile with joy. Days went by, and as the girl was selling her dresses at the bazaar, a town crier appeared. He was holding a beautiful caftan. "Hear ye," he cried. "Whoever sews a caftan identical to the one I hold shall be made palace tailor, by decree of the Sultan." The young girl eagerly approached the caftan and looked at it carefully. The caftan was covered in all manner of things, gold embroidery and decorations, whatever you could think of. The young girl decided to join the competition. The day of the competition arrived. Oh, how crowded it was that day. Almost every single tailor in the country was there. Each had done their best to make their caftan the same as the Sultan's. The tailors laid out their garments on their stalls. The Sultan looked at each caftan one by one. When he passed by the caftan the young girl had made, he realized there was something about it that caught his eye. The young girl had made her caftan identical to the Sultan's, but had added an embroidered dry leaf on the left lapel. The Sultan loved this idea. He loved it so much that not only did he make the girl the palace tailor, but he had her embroider the dry leaf on all his caftans. Now, about the talking leaf. No one ever saw it again. Perhaps it became a story. Perhaps it's between the pages of a book, waiting for you to find it.